And let's just go ahead and check, see when we're actually live. A couple more seconds. And we are officially live. Welcome to Bybit Fight Club, everybody. This is our 6th live stream so far in this format, and it's only gotten more exciting, only more opportunities for everybody to interact with the stream, check out some trades, and also get an opportunity to win some merch and some bonuses. So I want to start off with that just because I feel like everybody should get the maximum chance to earn the merch this week. So right now, everybody that's in the stream, go ahead and click on the link that I'm going to send. It's going to come from the Bybit main account in the comment section. And that's going to give you the opportunity to enter all of your details into the form, your Discord name and your YouTube name or your YouTube link. Either one works for us. You can go ahead and enter your details there to get a chance to win the merch for the week. We're going to be giving away 3 pieces of merch. We're also going to do a bonus at the end in the form of a quiz. So do stick around towards the end of the stream for that as well. But Jordan, go ahead and say hello.
What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is the last of our first 6 Fight Club streams, and it's been absolutely awesome. I mean, we've learned so much. We've built a little bit of a portfolio. We can even take it further, possibly in the next run. And I think we've created something beautiful here. We've created the first centralized exchange that actually has a live trading community of their own. This is the first one. And it's not been easy, but it's been fun. And most things in life that are a challenge, that's where the fun is at. So thank you to everyone for showing up every time, being here. It's absolutely awesome. I only think it's going to grow from here onwards. And we're paving the way. We're going to see other centralized exchanges start doing the same thing, but they'll never quite be Fight Club. So welcome, everybody. Let's get straight into it. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks so much. I don't think we'll ever see a similar situation where the guest just absolutely dominates the host in such a manner. Hopefully, future streams or other exchanges will have a little bit better of a match. Jordan has just been absolutely outperforming. If you guys haven't tracked any of that, if this is your first time in the stream, go ahead and rewatch those previous streams to see some of those ridiculous trades coming out of his side. But let's go ahead and get started with a little bit of the schedule for the stream. So as I said, we're going to start out by opening up that raffle nice and early. Before we did it, about halfway through the stream, but I'm going to drop that form just a few more times so that as people roll in, they see the fact that they can go ahead and join that. But in terms of the schedule for the stream, we're going to be talking about Kwon's arrest and the whole terror story. We're going to have a little bit of a discussion between me and Jordan regarding Luna versus Luna Classic and Kwon in general. We were talking about that before the stream, and we definitely have some fun opinions about that. So I'm also interested to hear how people respond in the chat to that. Jordan going ahead and rocking the WSO t-shirt. That's awesome. We definitely can't wait to see him kill it in the real thing this year as well. And then we're going to do some global news. The SVB acquisition, the Silicon Valley Bank acquisition, happened this past week, or actually this week as well. And a little bit of news about Chinese banks supporting Hong Kong crypto firms. We're going to gloss over that. And then we're going to get into the trading and setups. Jordan is going to run us through another indicator this week. We hinted at it last week. It was actually part of the quiz. It's going to be, I guess, might as well say it's going to be part of the quiz this week as well. So make sure you're paying attention to that indicator because it is the last one. He's gone through 6 or 5 so far. This is going to be the 6th. I think they've all been absolutely vital to his trading strategy. So definitely pay attention. Then we're going to look at some user setups. So remember, you can go ahead and join the Discord. The specific channel is Bybit Fight Club, and drop your trading setups. And Jordan will go ahead and take a look at those live on stream. So tell us which trades you're thinking about opening. Tell us about which trades you have open, and we'll talk about those and see what the community thinks about those as well. And also, if you have any recently strong performers in terms of trades, we'd love to see those, even if they're not so strong. Let us know how you're doing, and we might be able to discuss on stream. Finally, if you guys have any suggestions for pairs or coins that you like Jordan or I to look at, please drop those as well in the comments. And we're going to finish out the stream just like we did last stream with a very awesome live quiz, so you guys can flex all the knowledge that you've learned, how well you've paid attention to the stream so far. So can't wait to see who wins that one this week. It was an absolute battle last week. I think we can all attest if you guys are still in here. But let's see if anybody else can win it this week. We had a great performance last week. But let's go ahead and get started with some of the news before we get into the trading for a little bit of that fundamental background, what's been moving the markets. Maybe not specifically these pieces of news, but they always have an effect, every little piece in terms of the global psychology and the macroeconomic factors. So Kwon's arrest, kind of the tale of not necessarily the recent news. Obviously, everybody's been focusing on SBF, most recently SVB, and all the banks going down. But if you guys do remember, especially how fast the news cycle runs in crypto, that Kwon was the hot topic just about, I believe it was a year ago, maybe even less. But the story is still unfolding. So a little bit of background. I'm sure you guys know this. Kwon is the founder of Terra Labs and their associated projects Luna and UST. UST is the stable coin. He was arrested this past week. That's March 23rd in Montenegro. Let us know in the comments if you know where Montenegro is. I had to look it up. He was arrested at the Podgorica airport while attempting to board a flight to Dubai using falsified documents. I'm sure everybody's going to have theories about why he's going to Dubai, where he's going from there, where he came from. Was he in Montenegro for a while? Did he come from where? That's kind of been the story for armchair Twitter investigators over the past year until we moved into SBF and those newer stories. But right after he was arrested, U.S. authorities announced that they would be charging Kwon criminally for fraud, securities fraud, wire fraud, conspiracy to engage in market manipulation, and conspiracy to defraud. So everything that comes with a fraudulent cryptocurrency project like this. This comes months after Kwon was charged by South Korean authorities for similar charges. So we've kind of got a battle here between countries looking for their charges, looking to get their justice. The question of which country will get the case arises. Did Kwon reach out to U.S. investors? Yes, but he's also a citizen of South Korea. South Korea was where Terra Labs was headquartered or majorly located. Interestingly, the number of South Koreans who lost money from Luna was higher than the number of investors that lost money from Luna in the United States. So we see the number of victims outweigh the number of victims in the United States, but the U.S. always wants their bite. They always want their piece of the pie, especially in cases like this where he's advertising to people in the United States. So I'm very interested in following where he would actually get extradited to, because that's the big question right now, is who is going to get him. And there could actually be another factor for that as well. So both countries have requested extradition of Kwon. However, Kwon was arrested with a fake Costa Rican passport in his possession, implying he could face charges in Montenegro for this. So although he's got these giant charges looming over his head in the United States and in South Korea, the most local charge is that falsified passport, whatever that is in Montenegro, whatever their law is, most likely a criminal charge. So he could face jail time in Montenegro. Montenegro will be deciding, most likely having a little bit of, or a few chats with the embassies and politicians from the United States, from those investigative departments, the three-letter agencies in the United States and in South Korea. Everybody's negotiating to get him. And personally, in my opinion, I don't think we're going to see him face charges in Montenegro and sit there in jail for 3 years. And then once he gets out, then he goes to either United States or South Korea. But I'd love to hear people's impressions on that as well. So what could Kwon see from this? Federal sources say that he's unlikely to face jail time in the United States, instead predicting a fine. We see this a lot with major financial crimes. We see giant fines in the billions of dollars rather than jail time for a lot of these people in a lot of these situations, although we do also see jail time as well. So if you guys can think back to Enron, if you think as recently as SBF is facing jail time. The perpetrators of Enron, those higher level execs, faced jail time of 25 plus years. So we've got a multi-billion dollar infraction. I don't think jail time is off the table, although we have seen some predictions in terms of federal sources. So we'll see about that. Maybe he faces a giant fine in the United States and then he's extradited because he doesn't face those criminal charges or the criminal charges in terms of jail time in the United States. He just faces the fine and then he gets extradited to South Korea for the actual jail time. Maybe there's some negotiation there. Me and Jordan can discuss that in a moment. But finally, just to give a little bit more context in terms of Luna, because there was a great Bybit article about Luna versus Luna Classic released just a few months ago. I did a great read through of that and learned a lot about the specific differences. So after the collapse of Luna and UST, Do Kwon proposed a hard fork of Luna in an attempt to revive the project. So that's kind of what happened at the very peak of the collapse, as we see Do Kwon making this decision, this abject decision to hard fork Luna and try to save the project. He says, we've got all of these investors. This is our one chance to revive it after, our weak slump. So what are the differences between Luna and LUNC or Luna Classic? Well, LUNC is actually the original Luna, which makes sense. We see these hard forks for multiple cryptocurrencies, and you see the Litecoin Classic, the Ethereum Classic versions. But LUNC in May of 2022, we actually saw Luna. So the hard fork was created and became the dominating blockchain. Holders of UST and LUNC received Luna tokens via an airdrop. So they're holding on to those old devalued Luna tokens, now referred to as LUNC. This is where it gets confusing. And they receive their new tokens, now called Luna. So think about it as Luna official. It's Luna main. LUNC is what existed before the hard fork. Now they exist in parallel. So the new coin, Luna, cut ties to the algorithm-based UST stablecoin amid regulatory rumors and continues to exist without one. So remember, we saw how the algorithm failed Do Kwon, failed Terra Labs, and failed all of the holders of the original Luna. The new Luna, the hard fork, Luna New, cut ties with the idea of an algorithm-based UST stablecoin. And it actually created a new stablecoin called Terra Classic USD or USTC. Definitely does not hold the market cap of what UST once did. I don't think we see that on both sides. So, final take, LUNC or Terra Classic recently passed a tax burn policy. So a major difference between Luna Classic and Luna is we see this tax burn policy, meaning a 1.2% fee would be charged for all non-USTC, for all on-chain USTC and LUNC transactions. So anytime you're sending the stablecoin or sending the actual Luna Classic to somebody else, anything on-chain, you're going to see a 1.2% fee against that transaction, similar to what we see for gas fees or just about any cryptocurrency that takes fees. The aim of this was to make LUNC a deflationary token. So 1.2% fee per transaction is burned by sending it to a dead address. This tax burn will continue until the total supply of Luna Classic is slashed to 10 billion tokens, where it will remain unaltered. So we're seeing a deflationary mechanism introduced to Luna Classic, or the original Luna, most likely, again, an attempt to start to revive some of that price action, and people see it as an investment. And fun fact, when this proposal was suggested and predicted to pass, Luna Classic rose over 250% in price. Now, before we get into the discussion in terms of Do Kwon and the differences between Luna and Luna Classic, I've got to know, Jordan, did you trade? What happened? What is your story for whenever Luna, the original Luna, was going down? Did you trade that on the short side?
Slightly, but not as much as I would have in retrospect. Completely. I don't tend to hop into situations like that are super crazy and you don't know what's going on. But actually, I was buying small amounts on spot for the opportunity, for it to return. And I have a personal, extreme dislike for what all went down because, okay, so we're looking here at a breach of trust, basically. We don't know whether to trust whether this was legit or whether this was a very strategic, very evil scam. And if it's on that side, of course, and that's the side I'm leaning to. And yeah, I have a particular hatred for that because I like the industry. I want the industry to grow. I want the industry to survive. I don't want bad players like this. And like I we were having a discussion earlier just before the stream. Like I was saying, it was one of my investments. It was a small part of a highly diversified portfolio. And yeah, it was like a small risk, didn't really feel it much. And that's what you have to learn to take on and understand, is that all of these things are very new. This is a very new industry. You have to be properly diversified. Let crypto be a very diverse part of a larger portfolio. I mean, the whole crypto industry is a question mark at the end of the day. Let's all be honest. But the beauty of that risk and that question mark is the upside potential. And of course, outperforming in a volatile market once you get the skills going. But I have lost trust completely. So for me, there's a lot of projects that are very interesting, that are grabbing my attention. And yeah, I've got no time. I mean, if you hear someone who has allegations against them continuing to commit criminal acts, false identity and stuff, yeah, no, the trust was gone a very long time ago. And I'm starting to see a very evil kind of underlying pattern unfold. And in my mind, it actually aligns to some of the evilness behind, general stuff that crypto is against, such as, single authorities, inflation, basically stealing people's money without them even understanding how it's happening. So yeah, I do think for me it's a move on. It's a move on to something else. I do have whatever they airdropped me, but like I don't really care about it. There's so much opportunity, and if you did lose a big amount, just learn from it. Maybe too many eggs were in that basket. I mean, it was extremely intelligent. They had this whole idea, and you know what? In retrospect, yes, their algorithm doesn't really make sense. It was this amazing thing that everyone was like, wow, this is like something that can change the world. And if at the end of the day it was just a lie to get people in, then yeah, I quite passionately dislike the entire thing. But that's also what needs to happen. We do need to flush out all of the bad players so that, and this is why regulations can actually help us, because there are certain regulations that can help us against players like this. And it actually takes these players getting taken down, taking a little bit of our money for this industry to evolve into something that is more regulated. Yes, probably more stable, but a little bit more safe. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Excellent. Thanks so much. Yeah, I have a couple, I guess, stories to share. I remember in late 2021 being highly interested in the project because they were pitching as the payment currency. They had this amazing pitch that you could find on YouTube where they were talking to actual vendors in South Korea, and they were going to be in South Korea. Because I remember seeing these statistics that South Korea has the highest levels of actual transactions for currency in terms of daily transactions, in terms of going to the grocery store and buying your groceries with crypto. They had the highest levels, and we could see that pitch of UST and Luna being used for those transactions and taking over and dominating that market. So they are absolutely expert marketers. And I actually agree with you whenever you say, you can give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt at the beginning. But as these allegations begin to stack on top of each other, and eventually we see something like a fraudulent document, a false passport, you begin to completely lose all faith that maybe it was just kind of this domino effect of accidents. And I think we see the same thing from SBF with news coming out that he's bribing officials. At first people see him as this MIT expert, that it was maybe, got carried away with something. He's a young kid, he gets carried away and it, gets over his head. But eventually you see that he is actually making these moves consciously. So I think we see the same thing on both sides. And I do agree that the less we see of that, the more we see in terms of punishments for this, the more we're going to weed out those bad actors. So I'm going to talk about SVB and those Chinese banks supporting Hong Kong crypto firms real quick, and then we're going to get into the trading. I'm going to take this time to drop the forms a couple more times to enter the merch raffle. I'm going to bring up Jordan's chart so that you guys have something to look at other than us for a minute while he preps for that side of the stream. So the SVB, or the Silicon Valley Bank acquisition on March 28th, just a couple days ago, the First Citizen Bank announced that they are acquiring the failed Silicon Valley Bank. Silicon Valley Bank will begin operating as Silicon Valley Bank, a division of First Citizens Bank. So very direct acquisition. First Citizens purchased approximately $72 billion worth of SVB's deposits and loans at a $16.5 billion discount. So that's their upside on this, is they're purchasing these deposits and loans at a giant discount. The funds for this purchase were directed towards the FDIC. So the FDIC is holding on to those deposits. They're ensuring those deposits and loans after they were shut down by after SVB was shut down by federal authorities. So the payment that First Citizen went towards the FDIC because they are kind of the interim holders of those deposits and loans. They did not receive cash for the transactions, but equity appreciation rights and common value stock valued up to $500 million. So you think 500 million versus, what is it, 70 billion, or even with the discount, something like 50 billion. Well, First Citizens will also receive a $70 billion line of credit from the FDIC for liquidity purchases. Remember last week we talked about the fractional reserve system. A bank like First Citizens or even SVB does not have to hold on if they have $72 billion worth of deposits, does not have to hold on to $72 billion worth of cash. They have to hold on to an absolute fraction of that. As we move higher into these banks, they're absolutely giant. You see a bank that's holding $10 million worth of deposits, they're going to be holding on to the maximum, which is something like 10% of that overall deposit value in actual cash, in case people walk into the door and say, hey, I want my $500,000 out of my bank account. For SVB, it's an even smaller fraction than that. I don't know the exact number for SVB, but I imagine it's in the single digits of percentages. So they're holding on to an absolute fraction of that. They're going to receive a $70 billion line of credit for liquidity purchases. That line of credit basically says if people walk up to the door and say, I'm absolutely done with SVB, I don't want any association with this, even if they're bought out by a reputable bank, I want to get out. I'm going to move my money to HSBC or somewhere else. So depositors of SVB will automatically become depositors of First Citizens. So your account will work at First Citizens if you had one at SVB, and will again be assured by the FDIC for amounts up to $250,000 per account, which is the industry standard and a law. Approximately $90 billion worth of SVB securities and assets were excluded from the sale. So we take 90 billion plus 72 billion, and that's the total amount of securities plus assets plus deposits plus loans at the bank. And these will remain under ownership at the FDIC until we see any news about that moving forward. The FDIC hopes this will help alleviate outstanding deposit claims and reduce their overall burden. So they're hoping that the news that a somewhat reputable bank coming in, taking over those deposits, will stop all of those outstanding deposit claims from the FDIC, because obviously they couldn't handle that. That was part of the news that came out at the beginning of the story, is that the FDIC is having trouble handling all of those deposit claims at the moment. So next, we're going to talk about the Chinese bank supporting Hong Kong crypto firms. We're going to gloss over this real quick because there's not too many details, but it's just a little bit of excitement coming from such a giant population and such a giant industry hub that we could see in the future, especially after what we saw a couple years ago. So in a report from Bloomberg this week, we learned that leading Chinese banks, including the Bank of Communications, the Bank of China, and Shanghai Pudong Development Bank, have been assisting crypto companies that are located in Hong Kong. So a little bit vague here. Again, not a lot of details, but just the rumor itself is enough in this situation. So there have been sightings of visits from institutional sales staff to these digital asset companies in Hong Kong, as well as positive stances released from bank executives, I believe anonymously. So nothing official in terms of statements, but we are seeing the rumor. So we're seeing the rumor that is definitely actionable. This news acts as a potentially bullish sign for not only crypto companies looking to do business in Hong Kong. Either they left Hong Kong whenever we saw the ban imposed about 2 years ago, or they've been there the whole time, they've been shuttered, and they're looking to build back up. Hopefully this will give them a few more options in terms of building the industry back up for Chinese citizens and those that live in Hong Kong. But the industry as a whole, especially with the history of limitations on crypto in China, we'll definitely see this as a good sign. So just a little bit of backstory on that. China did impose a ban on crypto trading and mining in 2021. I believe that's whenever we saw them forcing out a lot of businesses and moving to other countries such as the Cayman Islands or Dubai, such as Binance and Tron. Let's see how these confirmed rumors of major Chinese banks interacting with crypto companies located in Hong Kong shapes the landscape moving forward. Remember, this is an absolute giant of potential for the industry, is business moving back, or crypto businesses moving back into China and having that ability to build from from the domestics. So building up locally in China, in Hong Kong. We don't see that opportunity. We haven't seen that opportunity for the last 2 years. And we saw how that affected the markets when it first came out. So let's see how the rumors of kind of a reversal in all of this moves us back towards the bullish side. Let's hope. So let's go ahead and move over to the trading half of the stream. I will continue to interject, adding those forms to the chat. Remember, if you see the form and you haven't clicked on it yet, click on it. All you have to do is enter your Discord ID, your YouTube ID, which can be either your YouTube name, or you can just go to your channel and copy your channel link. And that'll give you a chance to win one of 3 pieces of merch that we're giving away at the end of the stream. Also, remember to stick around towards the very end of the stream. Not much longer now. If you've been waiting very patiently, we appreciate it, to enter that quiz. And I want to see everybody absolutely trying their hardest to win. So, Jordan, I'm going to hand the mic over to you. We're going to look at some indicators and some trades that are currently open.
Awesome. Thanks, Brandon. Sure. Well done. That was very informative and lovely to listen to. Thank you for that. So I'm sure those of you who know my style of TA have been following what I've been doing on the screen and understanding. There might be some of you who are not as familiar with the indicators I use, etc. So let me just do a little bit of TA quickly, starting from the daily time frame on Bitcoin US dollar. Basically, we can see that we are currently tipping in to gigantic resistance for Bitcoin from all the way back, a couple times. So here was major support on May to June 2022. We found resistance, well, support here, January 21, support June 21, resistance December 2020, and we can see how there's a very clear zone up to 33,000. So TA very clear at the moment. Basically, the thinking is right here for me that if this is a bull run and if we are going to continue going up, there will be corrections. And if there's going to be a correction, it should be now, because I'm not saying right now, but somewhere from this range, reject it down so that we have our trajectory from the bottom nice and healthy. And I've said before on streams, we can come all the way back down technically to the POC on the daily, which is calling us all the way back down at 16,800. And we would still technically be bullish because we just need to keep a higher low from 15,333. So I wouldn't see it to be too unrealistic. Look at this range on the daily, how well it's been treating us. Right there, all the way down to there, all the way back up. These are not small trades with leverage. These are swing trades. These are huge. 42% on Bitcoin. That means alts have dumped massively. To the upside, 75% on Bitcoin. That means thousands of percentage on some alt trades. So this really is where it's at. To zoom out, if you're a newbie, it's even best to start on the monthly time frame, the weekly time frame, and we can see how these time frames are actually giving us 100% all that we need. And there is a lot right now calling for the short. Yes, the weekly RSI hasn't gone up to levels that we've seen before in bull markets, but we have seen rejections from these kinds of levels on the weekly RSI before. Maybe a little bit more of a pump is what I'm thinking. And as I went down the time frames, I also saw that we might get a little bit of a nice divergence into the zone, maybe not that much, but a divergence into the zone, printing as a kind of shark fin, and then we'll get a nice little bit of go time. And we can see here on the weekly, look at the POC, we know this is magnetic down at the 19,950 level, and that just makes sense in terms of this range that we've been seeing. So there's our pattern, our snake pattern, accumulation, distribution that we always talk about. And yes, this would be a bullish pattern that can still result in a bull run. So I see a lot of space to the downside at the moment. There is, of course, this possibility that we have mentioned before of the bulls making a very nice fight and making it above. And if we do turn this massive resistance into support, it could be an absolute rocket point. So we have to remember that when we're positioning ourselves short here. We have to have our stop losses in place. We might even want to enter a hedge trade. In case it does go bullish, then we're in a bullish trade. You might want to make the bullish hedge trade slightly less of a margin, but you might even be bullish. So let me know in the chat. This is just some of my own TA. I haven't done the positioning yet or opened the trades yet. I'll go into my current trades shortly. And yeah, my current strategy with the P&L so far that we've accumulated. But please zoom out to these charts because it's very clear to see what's happening. And it all depends on what's going to happen in this squeeze right here. We could very easily just come back down to this kind of a level. We're getting a crossing of a major horizontal line with a major upward sloping trend line. So maybe a target to the downside, 24,500. And then we've got our lower levels, 21,000, 19,000. And you know what? I could see a very big fight from the bulls here. We might even just play around in this liquidity zone for however long it takes to either go above it or break below it. And that's when I will really go hard. When I see us moving in a direction with volume away from this zone, that's when we go hard. That's when we move. So right now we're sniping, we're watching. And as we see all the way down through the time frames, it's showing us, I mean, look at these wicks, these Darth Maul lightsaber candles. We learned a cool thing in the Sunday session, learning some new abbreviations. And some new candlesticks. But when we see this, what we're seeing is just massive indecision right now in the market. The bulls taking their longs, the bears taking their shorts, and it's a war. And we're going to see who wins, but things will get very volatile, hopefully somewhere around this crux. And we can see that's around, yeah, coming up to mid-May, we could see, in my opinion, some heavy, heavy volatility, if not before then. And just remember, it would be bullish. Yes, okay, we might dump. But in terms of the larger bull run, we need to, nothing goes straight up forever. We need to come down. We need to correct. And I would say we need to come down to our POCs, even below, because look, that's just the way this market works. If we pump more here, I could see, yeah, some devastating stuff. And I'd love to hear from the crew. I know that a lot are calling for a kind of 35,000 line here. And yes, we see these wicks basically here. Yeah, so this would also be major, major resistance. So if we get through, which could be, I'm hearing from some of the gurus, I must say, this 35 line. So it's on the cards. These are guys that have called stuff year after year for the last 4 or 5 years. And yeah, what we could see is a move up to this line and then down to keep it healthy. So please let me know in the chat. Right now, it's put your money where your mouth is. If you can predict the market correctly now, you stand to make a lot of money. So I'll go into the YouTube chat shortly. Oh, wow. Okay, I see so many messages coming in. And please also drop in the Discord any trades that you're in, any losses you've made, any coins you're looking at. Don't be shy. This is not just for the pro traders, but if you are a pro trader, please let us know if there are any coins we should be looking at. Let's have a look at this SXP trade. Not bad. So I was in 5 trades at the start of the stream. It looks like 3 of them have been either stopped out in profit or take profit hit. This SXP trade actually came from, well, the coin was alerted to me by one of our community members in our stream last night. Congratulations, Gibson. You are learning to screen like an OG. And yeah, thank you for putting me onto this coin. I did some TA after the live stream. When you alerted me to it, I opened the trade and we are 826% in profit. I haven't taken any profit off the table quite yet. We are positive in funding because, yeah, the majority of the traders were going short. We can see that our position margin is very well managed in terms of risk. Things are choppy, so I'm keeping it very tight. And when you win, you win. When you're right, you're right. When you're wrong, you have to learn to take your trade off the table, take your loss, let it go, revenge trading and all of that. It just shows, even in these volatile times, you can make decent money off $10 off well-managed risk. And last time I did mention in the session that I was going to be diversifying my derivative strategy a little bit when it comes to this P&L and this journey up to 10,000. So as you can see, I've taken some equity out of my derivatives. We have built it up from 1K to 5K, around 5.5. And I took some out and I put them into these bots. And we are cruising. We're 7% up. And this is so what I've done is I've diversified our risk across 3 bots. And yeah, we can see that one of them is quite high risk. I must say, do not be fooled to think that these bots are just low risk. This P&L was actually in about 50 just now, so it's pretty gnarly. You can see I actually have a liquidation price, which is reachable, which is quite close. So yeah, if you're a newbie, stay away from the 50x. We can see here the spot grid bot. So here, first of all, liquidation price on the 10x grid bot, not reachable, so all good. Total P&L, 1% in 9 days, $9 off $800 in 9 days. Not bad for a very nice risk profile. Here, so let's go into this one because this one is very interesting. So you can see here that the grid profit has actually been $66 in the last 6 days. A grid APR of 807%. And sure, this is so volatile. Right now, we can see an unrealized P&L of $30. And I've been loving watching this bot because I said to myself, yes, high risk, of course. I'm going to experiment. I'm going to let things run to the best of my ability. And I have seen this. I've seen unrealized P&L of $30. I've seen unrealized of negative $30. I've come back literally 10 minutes later and it'll be in an unrealized P&L of say plus 40 or plus 50. And yeah, so far no liquidations. Basically a lot of trades, so 168 trades in 6 days. Every time it makes a trade, it scalps 39 cents. So not bad, making about 30 trades every 24 hours at 39 cents a trade. And we can just see, how relentless this bot is. So now let's actually have a look. Let me show you. So you can actually just chart these straight on the Bybit charts. Like if you come here to strategy and then you say you want to open a bot now, which is, okay, I wouldn't suggest opening a bot on this coin. It's extremely volatile, but you can just come to strategy. You can choose neutral, long or short. You can choose, sure, your leverage, your price range, or you can ask the AI to tell you what it thinks would be best. But I told you all this would happen soon, where all the grids would just be there for you to see. And we can see that the AI does utilize many grids. And that's the beauty of a bot, making so many trades day in, day out. And to see P&L like I've seen, 5 to 10% in kind of a week. I'm trying to build a bot that's going to run for a year or two. So yeah, very, very interesting and so nice to see how this platform is advancing so quickly. And it's actually majorly a result of all of your feedback. So thank you for everybody who has dropped really useful feedback for us in the communities, because yeah, we really owe you a lot of gratitude for helping us. Okay, so we can see here a lot of sell orders have just been set off in this bot. So if we pump a little bit from here, these will all be filled. And you know what? I have to try and tell myself not to watch this because it's just been so interesting and so exciting and a little bit scary. But the only way to learn is to try it out. Make sure you manage your risk. This is, the highest risk of these 3 for myself. The next one I will set up is a 25x bot. And yeah, you can set it up either from here or straight from the derivatives platform, and you can get a nice wrap up of your P&L right there. All right, so let's have a look at this Ethereum chart, see what's happening. There we go. So Bitcoin must be pumping. Ethereum has had a beautiful pump up to 1,835. And we can see right now how literally my orders are now coming down to be filled. Very, very beautiful. And this is what you must learn to understand for these bots, is making sure that your entry is at a correct point of control, a level that you always return to within that current range. And we can see just why my bot has been so profitable, because we're just eating up orders and then eating them up again. And it's these kinds of moves to the same entry we're getting. So yeah, a powerful one is to use the 4-hour POC for your entries or the 1-hour POC. And sure, we can see here in a 4-hour candle how many trades were opened. And if we just return to the POC, which is very, very likely, yep, all of those trades are going to become realized P&L. All right, so let's look at this trade. We are now 776% in profit. I just left it open for the stream. My stop loss is at 53 cents. Let me know in the chat. Is it time to close this trade? Is it time to take the profits off the table? Or, what should we do here? And I do have a strategy in mind, but I'd love to hear if the group is thinking. Let's see here. We've got a 1-inch trade. Oof, also looks like it might be turning around. This one I'm going to hold on to. I'm going to bring my stop loss a little bit down, secure some of this a beautiful $4 we've accumulated. Yeah, let's put it there. And I'll take profit. This is, I just want to point with my finger, this is basically the resistance area that we're looking at here. So the further you come down into this area, maybe the less likely. I do want to take some profits off the table. Let's just put it right there. Let's have a look at this core trade. I think extremely close to being stopped out in profit. Very often, as soon as my trade enters profit, I'll move my stop loss because I don't mind. I really don't mind just taking $4 in profit instead of losing $4 in profit. I'll always get stopped out rather early in profit than a little bit later in debt. As soon as I am able to secure a trade not being a loss, so to secure a 100% win rate, I will move my take profit there. And you can see, you get used to where to put them. Basically, right now, I put it just at the top of this 1-hour wick, and we might even come down from there and fill my take profit. So this one, I'm just going to leave. It does look like Bitcoin is turning around. So that's why I'm bringing my take profits, quite far down. I did say I thought BTC was going to give us another nice pump before any kind of reversal. And we see it. We see it starting to occur here. Let's have a look at this daily again. So watch the slow moving average on the daily. We might get a rejection from it. If we break through it, and it's another pump upwards. And this might be a very nice short building opportunity. Well done if you are in a short from the wick. I know in the community there are some crazy trades happening. All right, so let me go into the chat. Let me know if there are any else we can do some TA on and open a trade. Let me know if you think I should set an entry for a Bitcoin trade. Basically, what I would do if I wanted to short this, I would look back historically on this daily RSI and find a really nice level. Oh yes, I'm going to still talk about Bollinger. But basically, we see a really nice level there at 83. For me, that's a juicy, juicy short level. If we manage to make it up as far in our momentum as 83, that's when I'm really going to start getting interested in starting to build my short. And that would mean a pump up into this liquidity zone. And that's when things are going to get juicy. If we think this is war now, let's just wait to see the wicks and the volatility we get between 28,000 and 33,000. And it looks like right now the bulls are making that attempt. All right, so let me know in the chat how you're feeling. I'm about to go straight into the YouTube chat and then into the Discord. Let's have a look. What I'm going to do is put it on this 15-minute chart. So we pumped now from the POC. We can see how the POC is always giving us these awesome boost off levels. And yeah, 15-minute looking like it's about to turn around. Those ETH orders going to be so nicely filled on the way down. Very excited to see. Every time I look back at that bot, its P&L is crazy. And yes, there's a liquidation there. So remember, I've done the TA. I'm on that bot. There's a reason for me that I haven't set a termination stop, etc. So just remember, it is a high risk zone. Start small. I've been trading on the bots ever since they were released. So yeah, you've got to do your own research, pay your dues, and then the passive income is absolutely beautiful. All right, so I'm seeing a nice horizontal line here on the 15-minute chart. And I think that's our range right now. We're looking at a rejection, possibly, or a fakie like we saw before into this range, then back down to the POC on the 15-minute and possibly lower right now on the smaller scalping timeframes, down to 27.48. And of course, keep your stops tight. But like I said, I'm going to be entering some shorts from here. Very small margin, very high leverage, and I'm going to add to my trade the higher we go, because I could see 33 as a major rejection, and I'm going to make sure that I have some trades that are long all the way to 35, and then I'm going to short at 35, just because of hearing a lot from certain people that have called a lot of these markets in the past. All right, so we see the RSI starting to turn around here on the 15-minute. Let's see what happens. Okay, so let's quickly have a look at the Bollinger Bands. Please become a master trader so we can follow. I don't know. Hey, I prefer to be a teacher. I prefer to be a teacher, but maybe one day I will. Okay, so I just want to show you here on this SXP trade how the Bollinger Bands helped me to get my perfect entry. You can see this is one of our sniper entries. If we go to the 4-hour, okay, we didn't quite catch wick on the 4-hour, but we were very close to these major wicks. And we can see, yeah, we caught a massive pump. And let me just show you how awesome this is, even on the 1-day time frame. So what we were seeing is extreme accumulation on this coin, and well done, Gibson. You are a star student. I mean, you've come so far in the past few months. And then, yeah, he literally called this. He called this breakout. And yeah, we've seen an insane trade. And let's bring up on the daily our Bollinger Bands. You see if I can get it's nice and big for us. All right, so as we can see, I got a pretty cool entry. But if we were trading this on the daily, I was scalping it. And here we can see my entry is halfway through the trend, halfway through the move. But the Bollinger Bands, those of us who were here last time and those of us who are very aware of this indicator will know where the trigger points are. And they are, yes, a little bit confusing sometimes. But basically here it was on the daily first over here. So this was, let me think how to explain this from scratch. Basically, here is your medium line, kind of like your POC, and we can see that it does give us our major liftoff zones. But basically, you're looking for exits of the Bollinger Bands, and you can change your settings if you'd like. But basically, what we see, sure, and it happened, even could have started positioning yourself for the long out here. But we're looking for major candle bodies, major wicks outside, just like we're seeing here to the upside. And oh man, on the daily, this is just so beautiful, but it will make more sense if we go down to a smaller time frame. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so most of us know these bands expand with volatility and they constrict with basically accumulation. And our trigger points are actually on the opposite side, so at the bottom of the band. And what we look for is a candle body closing outside of the band. And yeah, once you learn to snipe this, it'll be a lot clearer. But take your time. And here, you see this candle here. So that's basically a signal for us to pull the trigger on the sniper rifle if you're really following a Bollinger Band trend trading strategy on this time frame. And look at this. I mean, look at this. It is absolutely crazy. So we could have caught a much better position, but I was on a much lower time frame. So let's go into my position, and same thing. Look here. I'm sure some of you have already spotted it. Candle body close outside of the band on the 15-minute at the bottom. Let's just measure what happened. And then an awesome thing to know here is that after your trigger, a move outside of the top band is calling for a major trend continuation. So it is counterintuitive. It does take some time to understand. And of course, you have to wait for the volatility. You have to, be patient. We can see a little bit of a close there. And yeah, a further move down. So basically, for a confirmation, you're looking for a candle close below and then a wick at least above. So a candle close below and a move through the medium line to some kind of wick, or there we have a double candle body above. And you might think, oh, that should be going down now. But this is literally the rifle. This is the trigger. And there, the bullet gets shot. That's a very visual indicator. It's very similar to the Ichimoku cloud, which is very well loved. I personally actually prefer Bollinger Bands because it is a trend indicator. It helps us to understand when a trend is coming to the end. And here we see a candle body close above, and here we see the price action moving through the middle. If we see some movement below, that could be a confirmation of the trend reversal. And remember, the trend is your friend till the end. Crypto is all about trends. It's always going to be trending in a certain direction. And if you're fighting the current, you'll drown. It's like trying to swim out against some huge tide in the ocean. You just won't make it. So there we see the entry and exactly why I took it. And boom, let's have a measure. We know we're in massive profit, but to the top was 41% on a 25x. And it's a very nice, very, very nice tool for scalping, but on the daily, even more powerful. So what we see here are these Bollinger Bands starting to come together, and we can even see a further continuation of this uptrend. So that's why I have left my take profit all the way at a cheeky 73 cents. And the reason I've put it there is because if we look back, this asset has actually seen some crazy upside. So yeah, I was very impressed when I looked back. Let me quickly show you. So this is the 4-hour chart. We see this massive pump, but it's only pumping to not even below major resistance. I still feel like there's room to the upside here. That's our major level at $1.11. So maybe I should be super cheeky and just take my take profit up, and we'll have like a 3,000% trade or something, maybe. All right, so I think it's enough talking on that for now. Let me know if there's anything in particular about the Bollinger Bands that you'd like me to discuss. There is an awesome Learn article, Bybit Learn article, probably where I learned the majority about Bollinger, and it actually got me into it through reading those articles. Yeah.
It looks like we do have a question from Draxus. Jordan, do you recommend any specific settings for Bollinger Bands, or just the default ones are good?
Well, it depends on how familiar you are with the Bollinger Bands, but let me show you something really, really cool. So if we go to a chart, and yeah, it'll be based on TradingView, I think, but let's just quickly check. So let me clean up this chart quickly. We pull up our Bollinger Bands on Ethereum. Sure, and we can see, you know, the signals, just the beautiful signals and the trends, and it's just lovely. You can just pull up the Bollinger Bands and just look back in time and just learn so much. It's one of those indicators that you can actually learn just by looking at it and learning it. But of course, go and read the material. All right, so here's our Bollinger Band, and this is the setting that we get automatically. And basically, they call it a single deviation. Or let's see here, technically. Okay, so here they call it basically a length. But you can choose. And we can see what works best. And you know what's really cool? I'll show you a little cheat secret here. Okay, so we can see that there's something happening outside here. There's something happening. There's a resistance that we aren't catching. Yes, we're getting our beautiful, tight, hugging candle bodies, but we also want something dynamic to tell us where these wicks are going to be. And there's another deviation of the Bollinger Band that can tell us that. So basically all you do is you just go add another Bollinger Band, or you can, you know, change this one. But I actually like to add multiple, and it's so awesome on Bybit. I mean, you can add as many as you want. You just add another identical Bollinger Band, but then you take the length and you say maybe double it. And you get an entire different story. Let's go see what happens. Oh, really, really cool. So of course you'll have to mess with the colors. Let's make it opaque. Let's make it a bit thicker so we can see that's our median. This is our upper and our lower. And basically what I want to show you here is if you use deviations, and you can do this with any indicator. I mean, we get Fibonacci clusters, basically any indicator that you can use. If you take that indicator and you put it on top of itself with slightly different settings, what you'll get are these beautiful, beautiful points where we actually see that all the information we could want to understand is actually there. And yeah, this is, one deviation. We can see that there is actually another. So to have another one to do exactly what I did, to do it again would be even more valuable, because we can see now then that we would have probably all three. So we would have an outside early entry, we would have a mid kind of confirmation, and then of course our normal entries and confirmations. So when you're starting out with Bollinger Bands, to answer the question, to keep it very simple, use the settings that are there, use one, and then start to use deviations and start to overlay them over each other. And it does help to use the deviations, because we can also see when volatility is coming in to a better degree. So beautiful, beautiful question there, and I hope I've managed to answer it. Thanks, Donadras and Brandon.
All right, thank you so much, Jordan. I think we are going to go ahead and throw out the last call for the merch raffle giveaway. I'm going to drop the link a couple times. Let me see how many entries. We've got 24 entries, so I think that's pretty much everybody. I'm going to give it one more minute as we close out this part of the stream for everybody to give their last entries. Let us know in the chat if you're having trouble. But once we get to 57 minutes into the stream, we will be ending it. I would like to add, John Bollinger, the creator of Bollinger Bands, is actually active on Twitter. You guys can find him at @bbands, I believe. And he actually does, people ask him, like, what are your favorite inputs for Bitcoin? And he'll tell you, which is pretty cool. So a great,
Wow.
and I would say a vital follow for any technician.
That's amazing. Yo, I didn't know that. So cool to hear.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, you forget that, they're in their 60s and 70s. They formed they created a lot of these indicators or methods, in the 70s and 80s. But some of them are still active in the community. So we've got around 10 seconds. So I'm going to take over, and I'm going to go ahead and start with the raffle. Let me move over to the random number generator.
Also, remember, we're doing our Kahoot quiz. So if you need to download the app, it works much better on the app than the web. So if you need to download the Kahoot app, do it now. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so make sure you do have a computer or a phone in front of you for the Kahoot. But all right, so we've got 25 entries. I can go ahead and show you guys the list of entries. Find your name on the list, find your number so you know if you won. But we're about to go through the random number generator to see who gets the lucky draw this week. And we're actually giving away 3. And just to let you guys know which piece of merch they are, these stainless steel, it looks like, I believe they're made of aluminum, but like a silver metal mugs. Pretty cool. A little bit different from the black mugs that we gave away a couple streams back. These are a little bit different, a little more of an industrial look. I don't have one myself. I wish I did. But let's go ahead and move over to the random number generator. It's going to be between number 2 and number 26. So remember your number, and I'm going to pull 3 numbers right now. So see if you won. Number 7, number 4, and number 17 are all winners. So number 7, congratulations, Lalit. You're a winner. Number 4, congratulations. And number 17, congratulations. So that's going to be Lalit or Lalit. Lil Druv, congratulations. And Vicky D8.
No way, Druv was really wanting to win. Well done, brother. That's insane. Like, how did you do that?
Excellent, guys. Congratulations to all of those winners. You guys definitely earned it for sticking around through the stream and entering in all of those merch giveaways. So we're now going to move into the Kahoot as we end the stream. So if you didn't win any piece of merch, if you haven't won any piece of merch, now's your chance to transition from luck-based to skill-based. So I'm going to go ahead and
Lalit,
start up the Kahoot. And as we do that, let's go ahead and
I see Bitman called the short. Yeah, so I think I just missed that on the 15-minute RSI. I see the 15-minute RSI creating a shark fin divergence in the overbought. It looks like on the scalping timeframes, I did just miss that BTC short. Looks like we are coming down to the POC 28,000, and then maybe even down 27,480 on the 15 minutes. Thanks, Megs, Mr. Bitman. Rejected at the 618. Interesting.
To join the Kahoot, just go to Kahoot.it, enter the game pin 2353915, and you will show up in the lobby. Just has already done that. Perfect. We're going to give it just a few minutes. We can keep looking at the charts and looking at those setups at the moment while we wait for everybody to join in. It looks like we've currently got 19 viewers, so if you're in the stream, go ahead and join. There's no risk. Just do your best, and you might actually win everything. You might actually win the entire bonus. So we'll let everybody join in. And some of the rules you're going to receive, we're going to see 10 questions, and you're going to have 20 seconds to answer, but you will receive more points if you answer faster than the other players. So it's not only a matter of getting it right. Obviously, getting the answer right, or the question answer right, is the most important, but there's a secondary factor, and that's getting to that answer quicker and selecting it. So read the question carefully, but read it quick, make your decision quickly, and just go for it. Those are my tips. But we'll give it 2 or 3 more minutes to let everybody join that wants to join.
All right, I see we've got Ika, Draxus, Trader Pro, Lalit, Jez, Crypto Nerd, Sartak, Anshul, Bitman. I hope you're joining. There's some fierce competition here. Yeah, let's give them a second to download Kahoot if they don't have it.
Yeah, so you can just go to the website, www.kahoot.it, if you don't have the app. If for some reason you joined last week and the website wasn't working great for you, go ahead and download the app and try that as well. But we'll probably give it 2 more minutes.
Oh, Pasha, you are Crypto Nerd. Awesome. I know Ika, I know Draxus, I don't know Trader Pro. I know Sartak, Anshul, awesome. Crypto Nerd is Pasha. How to join? Yeah, so the ID is 2353915. 2353915. I love watching this. It's so exciting.
All right, if anybody else is still about to join, let us know in the comments. Let us know when you're in Interesting Facts, and we'll start to close it out.
Trav, thank you for dropping your setup. That looks awesome. So you're also expecting that kind of entry into the 27,000s from here, and it looks like it's happening. Looks like we are getting a move to the downside. But just remember that the POC, the 28, first resistance, next level 27.4. So just take it as it comes. All right. Let's see.
All right. We're just going to wait for Miguel and Interesting Facts. So Miguel, you can just go on either on your computer or on your phone, and you can go to Kahoot.it. It's going to ask you to enter a name. You can just enter Miguel, and then a game pin, and that's going to be that 2353915 at the top of the screen. But let us know when y'all are in, and we'll go ahead and start it off. And all of the questions you can learn from watching this stream. You can learn the correct answers too. So it's not going to be general knowledge questions, although a little bit of general knowledge will help. The questions are specific, and make sure that you paid attention during the stream. And there's our last two. Last call. Give it maybe 15 seconds. If anybody else is still joining, do let us know right now in the chat, and we'll hold it. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and start. Can't find the game pin, the menu.
Source kid, nice. Drav, nice. It's welcome.
All right, so we'll give it a couple more seconds for Miguel. Is the merch roll done? Yes, it's we did just finish the merch roll. So Miguel, see if there is an option that says join game, or if you're on the app, try the website.
Yeah, try this link. It should take you straight to where you enter the pin.
Yes. So Miguel, I just sent the link. It's just the www.kahoot.it, and that should just pull up a little box for you to enter the game pin. Congratulations again to all of the merch giveaway winners. I can't wait to see in the Discord people sending some pictures. Whenever you do get your piece of merch in, do let us know by sending a picture in the Discord. I think that would be really cool. I'm excited to see some pictures of the hoodies. If I had to pick a piece of merch to win, it would probably be that.
Yeah, the hoodies are awesome. I must say these water bottles are really, really cool. These flasks. Looking if I can see mine, but I use it every single day. Keeps ice cold for like 24 hours. Keeps ice frozen. Yeah, keeps your stuff hot. It's great for trading. It's also 700 I think it's almost a liter or 750 mils, but it's a lot. All right, Migs, are you coming right?
What was the today's merch? Today's merch was a metal mug.
Yeah, it's like a flask.
All right, looks like Miguel's having some issues. He's saying go ahead. Well, I'll keep it open, so I don't technically have to lock it. So I'll keep it open, and you can join. If you can figure out how to join, keep giving it a shot.
I'm checking now.
You can join late.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you seem to be in... let me just see. Upgrade, share, create. Someone dropped the URL that they have currently. Maybe Migs can use that URL for our session, but I also don't see on your screenshot where to go.
Yeah, so it's really I just tried it on my screen. If you go to that direct link, which is Kahoot.it, it should just pop up with joining a game, and maybe join incognito in a browser so that you're not logged in. But I'm going to go ahead and start because we are getting a little bit over time. So I'm going to keep it unlocked, which will allow you to join in, Miguel, a little bit late, and we'll still give you a chance. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's do it. Fight Club number 6. And quiz question number 1. Terra Labs founder Kwon was arrested in which country this past week? Costa Rica, South Korea, the Virgin Islands, or Montenegro? Which country was he arrested in this past week? And it looks like we do have an overwhelming amount selecting the correct answer. Montenegro was the correct answer.
And Migs is in. Well done, well done.
Excellent. All right, let's see who's at the top. Lalit, just a little bit faster than Jess, a little bit faster than Crypto Nerd 86. I think we're going to see that spread start to move as we get into these next questions. A little bit of speed points. Both the United States and South Korea are attempting to extradite Do Kwon. True or false? They are both attempting to extradite Do Kwon from Montenegro. True or false? And congratulations, everybody. Get it in with the correct answer. Let's see who was fastest. Jess, just barely faster than Crypto Nerd this time. Both these just barely faster than the Lit.
Smashing buttons.
Congratulations, everybody. Remember, speed points. But the most important thing is getting it right. Another true or false, Costa Rica is attempting to charge Do Kwon for the use of falsified documents. True or false, Costa Rica is attempting to charge Do Kwon for the use of falsified documents. 13 answers. Everybody got it in nice and quick this time. Waiting for one more. And, oh, there we go. I was hoping for a little bit of a split on this one. Costa Rica is not attempting to charge anybody for the use of falsified documents. He was arrested in Montenegro. So he'll be arrested if he's charged for falsified documents. It'll be in Montenegro. He was using a fake Costa Rican passport. So a little bit of a tricky one.
Nice.
Just to get you guys to stay paying attention and stay quick. Lalit, 3 in a row. Jess, 3 in a row. Crypto Nerd, 3 in a row. The leaders at the moment doesn't mean that everybody in 4th, 5th, and 6th cannot catch up. We got 6 more questions. When did Luna hard fork occur? This is the date: February 18, March 19, August 21, May 22. What was the month and year in which the Luna hard fork occurred? So this is when Luna was created and Luna Classic. So May 2022 is the correct answer. A lot more recent than we probably think of intuitively with how far away, how far back in time that felt. May 2022. Wow, Snow, the highest climber, up 4 places. Lalit, Crypto Nerd, Jess, still on that 4 correct answer streak. Battling it out in terms of time. Terra Classic passed a burn tax policy at which rate? What is the tax per transaction? 1%, 1.2%, 1.12%, or 2%? See if you guys are really paying attention when we mentioned that. And most got this one correct as well at 1.2% for all on-chain transactions. Anything on-chain, 1.2% going to that dead address. And let's see who's still holding on. Wow. Looks like Lalit, Crypto Nerd, holding on with the correct answer streak. Everybody else beginning to fall back from our leaders at the moment. Doesn't mean we can't see anybody catch up. Draxus climbing 3 places that last question. The total supply of Luna Classic will be reduced via the coin burn tax until it reaches which number? So we will continue to see coin burns until the total supply of Luna Classic reaches which amount? 1 billion, 5 billion, 10 billion, or 15 billion Luna Classic. And overwhelming correct at 10 billion. We will see that coin burn tax go away. And deflation will have officially finished. So Lalit, Crypto Nerd 86, again, 6 in a row. Jess, Druv, and Draxus following close behind. First Citizen Bank acquired 72 billion of SVB's deposits and loans. What value of assets were excluded from the sale? what value of assets were excluded from the sale? 16.5 billion, 52.5 billion, 90 billion, or 105 billion worth of assets. Oof, another tough split. 90 billion was correct. So 72 billion of deposits and loans were purchased at a 16.5 billion discount, but 90 billion worth of assets were excluded from the sale and stay with the FDIC. Lit 7 in a row. Crypto Nerd looks like not 7 in a row. We've got a tough lead at the moment to beat, but we've got 3 more questions to change that. Let's get into it. Which indicator did Jordan focus on this week? If you get this one correct, whether you watched last week or this week, it's going to be a speed one. I've got a pretty good feeling about, especially because he mentioned it towards the end of the stream. Weighted moving averages, Bollinger Bands, Ichimoku Clouds, or KST No Sure Thing. And overwhelming towards Bollinger Bands. Congratulations, everybody. We're going to ease up with the difficulty on that one before we get into the last 2. Lalit in the lead with all 8 correct so far.
Wow.
How many trades does Jordan currently have open? 2, 3, 5, or 6 currently open? I don't believe this changed at all during the stream unless yes, correct. Number is 3 currently open. Showed about midstream and towards the end of the stream. We saw that as well. Congratulations, those who got that one correct. It looks like Lalit on a 9 streak. It's going to be tough to pull back that lead. Lalit, it looks like you secured number 1. Jess, Draxus, and Druv, and Crypto Nerd fighting for number 2. And some of those smaller bonuses. Congratulations already, Lalit. Jordan has 3 grid bots set up. What is the highest leverage level he has set for any of his bots? So what is the highest leverage? Which X? Across those 3 grid bots. And it's 50X. Another speed round. Congratulations to our winner. Let's go ahead and see. Let's take a look at the podium. Number 3, Draxus was 7,600 points. 7,700 points. Jess, congratulations. 8 out of 10 and 10 out of 10. A perfect score. Number 1, 9,500 points. Most correct and quickest is Lalit. Congratulations. Runners up, Druv, and Trader Pro as well. Lit, Jess, and Draxus, you are our winners this week.
Very nice work. Well done. Those were tough.
Yeah, I last week wasn't as tough. It was more speed based, but people were getting a little bit too comfortable answering what they thought of first. So I don't think it was too hard, but definitely made people pay attention. So thank you guys so much for joining. I appreciate it. And to the winners, congratulations to the winners of the merch giveaway. Congratulations as well. Stick around, guys, in the Discord, even if we're not doing a stream next week. But for whenever they resume, we will continue with the bonuses and with the giveaways. It's going to be fantastic. Thank you guys so much for joining in.
Yes, thank you so much, everybody. And yeah, I also hope that we'll continue to do this. Drax, it's so nice to hear. Drop some feedback in the Telegram communities, letting us all know if you enjoyed Fight Club, how we can improve. Yeah, everything like that. And yeah, thank you, everybody. It's just been such an awesome experience. Congrats to our winners. Congrats to all the runners up. And remember, always play from a position of power and strength. Always use a stop loss and don't get wrecked. Have a great day further. Thanks again, everybody. See you in the communities. Goodbye. Thanks, Brandon.
Thank you guys so much.